So what is the name?
My name is Sarvagya.
Sarvagya, so give me a brief introduction about yourself.
Basically, I am from Riva. I have completed my graduation. Then I have completed my post-graduation in MCA in 2023. Then I am working as an intern in ProScale Hub from last 6 months.
What are the languages you have covered during social development certification?
Firstly, I covered HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then I covered React.js as a front-end framework.
Why did you choose IT as a career?
I always wanted to love coding, and I have decided to pursue post-graduation in Master Computer Application, and then now I am working as an intern in ProScale Hub.
What are your hobbies?
My hobbies are I like reading books, gardening, cooking, etc.
What are your weaknesses?
My weaknesses are sometimes I take much time to do task. I can overcome it.
What are your strengths?
Actually, I'm missing what you have asked.
Okay, what are your strengths?
My strength is I am hardworking, perseverant person, uh, and try to do a single task in a single test, in a single set.
Sarvagya, are you a fresher? Do you have experience?
I have experience of 6 months working as an intern.
What is the working schedule there?
Sorry.
What is the working schedule there at ProScale?
Okay. The working schedule is 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
So how long are you working for that company?
Sorry, I'm missing out what you have asked.
For how long you are working for that company?
I'm working here for 6 months as a working as an intern here.
So have you made any projects?
Yeah, I have made full stack e-commerce website based on React application.
So favorite project is?
My project has various functionalities like add to cart and payment gateway, update product, admin panel, user panel. Various functionalities are there to make it a complete e-commerce website.
So 3.0.0 ऐसा कुछ भी नाम आए नहीं रैप कर रहा हूँ 2 डिजिट में बना नहीं रहा हूँ 3.67 we are still working on the project or completed the project.
Yeah, my project is yeah, completed.
How much is left? It's completed.
Yeah, it's completed. Sometimes it takes a lot. It takes some time for deployment purpose also. I'm deploying it on a server.
We're deploying it on a server.
Yeah.
What is the difference between props and state?
Okay. Props is an object through which we can send the data from parent component to child component.
What are life cycle
And state is
methods?
a okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
what is
State is an object through which we can set the initial data, initial value in the variable and set its variable as per the requirement of our application. We use state hook for it, and we can initialize the variable through it like 0, 1, true, false. It depends on which type of application we are making.
What are life cycle methods?
Life cycle methods, basically these are the structure of class-based components. Class-based components are have life cycle methods like use state, use effect, etc.
What is React?
React is a front-end JavaScript library used for building user interfaces, and it is now very popular in IT industry.
Why did you choose React as your front-end language?
It has so much advantages because it has it is divided into components, and all the components are linked to each other through import and export.
What is
React is now
J6?
a very popular. React is now very popular in IT industry and has so much vacancies left over there in the IT. That's why I choose IT. That's why I choose React as a front end framework.
What is J6?
JSX is JavaScript syntax extension, and it is written after the return keyword. And it is the form of writing the JavaScript in React. And everything which has to be written here are in the form of curly braces. For style keyword, we write double curly braces. Then the styling is written here.
What are components in React?
Components are reusable objects, and we can make a component and use it anywhere in our application. We can render it in our application, whether we want there, whether the requirement is there. For example, we have make a component, and we have made multiple components, and we have to render in our main file. Then we can render it easily. We don't have to write again and again that component in our main file. This is the basic use of component in React.js.
How would you create a control component in React?
Sorry.
How do you create a control component in React?
Okay. Control components are the components which are controlled by the parent component. The child components which are controlled by the parent component is a control component, and uncontrolled components are those which do not through which all the state management and variable management are done through that component only. That is uncontrolled component. This is the basic difference between control components and uncontrolled components.
Okay, what are React hooks?
React hooks are the way to store the data to initial time, and to initialize the variable, to set the variable. We use React hooks, like use state hooks and use effect hooks. Use effect hooks are used to get the data in initial time, and it has also array dependency involved in it. That array dependency manages the use effect, that which type of data should become first in our application.
What is the purpose of use state?
Use state hook is used to basically it is used to initialize the variable and set the variable. And use state has initial values like 0, 1, true, false, and it depends on our application, that which type of output we want in our application.
What is the difference between class components and functional components?
Class components are stateful components, and they are lifecycle methods there. And the functional components are stateless components, and we use React hooks in it, like use state and use effect. This is basic difference between class-based components and the functional-based component.
Okay, what is Axios?
Axios basically it is used for API calling to send the data from backend to front end, and for to get the request and response, we use Axios API calling.
What is
We can
API?
what is API? Yeah. API is application programming interface. It is used for to get the request and response. If we have to send the request, then we use it, and to get the response, this is basically used for send the data. This is API calling.
What is virtual DOM and how it improves performance?
Virtual DOM is a blueprint of the actual DOM, and the React uses the virtual DOM property, and through it increases the speed of our application, and we don't have to render it again and again, and we have to we can increase the speed of our application through it.
How can we create high order components?
High order components are the components which through which we can take smaller components and return higher order function, like map, reduce. These are the higher order functions in React.
What is the difference between client-side routing and server-side routing?
Client-side routing means we have to use routes and route, and we have to make a path through it, and write element is equal to component in index.js. And server-side routing means we have to make model routes controller, and then we can make the routes. This is basic difference between client-based routing and server-based routing.
What is promises?
Promises, it is used for asynchronous operation. Whether the asynchronous operation is completed or not, we use for it to check
Yes,
it.
correct.
Promises
Promises.
promises are asynchronous. It is used to check as whether a asynchronous operation is completed or not. This is the use of promises. It can be completed, uncompleted, and unfulfilled. There are three types of promises in JavaScript.
What is current function?
We transform a function into smaller components. If we have to transform a function, a bigger function into smaller and smaller units of functions, we use current function. If we have a function with so many arguments, we can divide it into a function and then return. Then the name of the function, then argument, then return the name of the function, then return. To divide it into smaller functions, we use current.
What is callback function?
Callback function is an executable code through which we can send the request and response.
What is prop
This
drilling?
is callback function. Sorry,
What is prop drilling?
sending so much data from parent component to child component. This is prop drilling.
What is the use of use memo?
It is used to get the data very fastly. If we have to save the data and use it in our application again and again, then there will be so much time to take it, complete it. Then use memo is used, which uses memoization, and it uses cache memory to get the data. And cache memory is fastest memory in operating system. That's why we use memo.
What is pure computation?
Sorry,
What is pure
pure component is a component through which we can get a data. We can get a component return many functions, many components. This is pure component.
Ajax?
Ajax is asynchronous JavaScript and XML. It is used for basically for API calling, but nowadays we use Axios for API calling. It is better than Axios. It is better than Ajax.
What is JSON?
JSON is JavaScript object notation. It is in the form of curly braces, and key value pairs are written in the form of inverted commas.
Give me a real life example of abstraction.
Abstraction. Yeah, abstraction is abstraction we can define it in the way that it is a process to hide the data but showing only the functionality part. For example, when we call someone, when we dial a number, then we only dial the number. We don't know what is happening inside it. What is the electronic work, and what is the messaging and how it works. We don't know the actual engineering of it, but we only dial the number. This is abstraction. It means we are hiding the internal details but showing only the functionality. This is the real life example of abstraction.
What is the difference between overloading and overriding?
Overloading and overriding are the concepts of polymorphism. And overloading means defining a function and giving it so much parameters and arguments inside it. This is method overloading in polymorphism. And method overriding means a method which is used after a main function. A method which is defined after the main function is overrides the above functions. This is method overriding in polymorphism.
What is the difference between multi-level and multiple inheritance?
These are the parts of the inheritance, and multi-level inheritance means a single parent. There is a single parent, and the various children are associated with it. For example, a child object inherits the objects and inherits the behaviors and properties of the parent class, and then that parent class becomes also becomes the parent of a also becomes the child of another parent object. For example, a parent object, then its child, then and then that child becomes the parent of another child. This is the multi-level inheritance.
What are
And
the
multiple
dependencies?
inheritance means And multiple inheritance means there is a single parent and various children are associated with it, and they derive the properties and behaviors of the parent object. This is multiple inheritance.
What are the dependencies of use effect?
Dependencies we can
Ruby to install a
define the
2.7 install
of array dependency. For example, if we have to get the data in initial time, then we have to show the condition in array dependency, and on the basis of that dependency, the initial data comes in our application. This is array dependency in use effect.
What is Redux?
Redux is used for state management, and it is used to store the data in our application.
What is the use of GitHub?
It is used to manipulate the data, manipulate our code, and access our code, and to send the code to our team members in company. This is the basic use of GitHub. And we can also install, and we can also upload and push and pull the code of our application of our project in GitHub, so that anywhere in the world can see our code. This is the basic use of GitHub.
So you must have a GitHub account, right?
Sorry?
You have a GitHub account, right?
Yeah.
So explain the WhatsApp number of push and pull command. 9200 get push get 818 9200239818 ओपन था वो तो चला गया ना आपके साथ
Actually, I am not. Actually, I am missing what you have asked.
what is get pull and get push command in GitHub?
Okay. Pull and push command. Push means sending our code in a GitHub through a command, and pull means to get the code of our application from GitHub to our local system. This is
What is
the
hosting?
difference.
What is hosting in JavaScript? 2000
To get the variable at the top, it is hosting. If you have a variable in between the application to get the data in the top of our application, this is hosting in JavaScript.
What is the difference between let and const?
Let is used to declare the variable, and const is also used to get declared the variable. But in const we cannot redeclare it. We cannot change it and modify it. But in let we can modify it. The values of the variable. And if we have made a let keyword, then we can declare the variable. Then we cannot use it again and again let. But where can be used again and again in our application. This is the difference between where, let, and const.
Why do you want to switch
So much noise is there. I'm not able to hear what you have asked.
Okay, why do you want to switch
Okay. I want to switch the company because I want to enhance my skills and get the knowledge from another company, and I also want to enhance the skills of my IT. That's why I want to switch the company.
What are the concepts of server-side rendering? Server-side.
What are the concepts?
Server-side rendering. SSR.
Okay. Okay. Server-side rendering is used for to get the data from backend, I think, to get the data from backend and to route it in our application. This is server-side rendering. In server, we make MVC, model routes controller, and making routes and controller and model in the backend. We can get the data from get backend and use in our React application in front end. This
What are the
is
limitations
server-side
of
rendering.
React? What are the limitations of React?
Okay. React is very popular nowadays, but there are so many components associated with it, and so we have to render it in our main file again and again. I think this is the biggest disadvantage of it.
What is the salary expectation?
My salary expectation is 6 lakhs per annum. But whatever the company expectations, we can discuss on it.
Done.
Okay.